This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/RebelScumPodcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
Your voice, Scum. Rebel Scum.
Rebel Scum. Welcome to the Rebel Scum Podcast. I'm Brock.
I'm James.
This is James.
I'm just talking over Brock to say my name. Everyone needs to know.
Episode 297 of Rebel Scum Podcast, the Star Wars podcast where you want to listen to us talk about Star Wars. James, what is your life like in a post-Ahsoka world?
It's depressing AF, man. Actually, you know what? To be honest, it's nothing different has changed. I will say there was like a time last night when I said, "Oh man, could really go for watching some Ahsoka right now."
Yeah.
And mostly, I think that stems from Balin. And what? I mean, we kind of got a hint of what's calling to him, but what is calling to this guy? That's what I want to know. So I don't know. So for me, I'm actually I get stressed watching things when spoilers leak. I like this 9 p.m. time slot, but nothing much has changed now. Ahsoka sucked. There was no. I'm just showing. What about you?
Yeah, I keep meaning to. I was like, I really want to watch just the whole thing, just in a one sitting sort of scenario. I think I'm happy with the show as a whole. The ending was but at the same note, I'm like, wow, that was fun. I haven't talked to anyone that watched the entire thing and hasn't really watched Rebels or anything just to get their vibe. I know people were liking it without even knowing anything about Rebels,
and so we're doing our top 5 Jedi today.
Yeah,
because I felt like this show enhanced Jedi more than we I think Acolyte is going to come in here and really kind of change the way we change the game a lot. But this show for me kind of put some stuff in the forefront that I think when it's in animation, as much as I think we might have considered some characters, I think this show might have elevated them more. Maybe not to our top 5s, but I think it elevated it a lot more. And I was saying this about Andor. I love Andor to death, and that might be still the best show that we've gotten, possibly. Although I've seen people do their rankings now, and Andor's last on some. It's first on some, last on the other. It's the last Jedi, but without the hate of the last that comes with the Last Jedi of Andor. But I think that might be the best. But Ahsoka reminded me that I love Jedi and I love lightsabers to death. Love them to death.
Yeah, no, the lightsaber battles in this were way too good. And it was just they didn't have to be super long. No one had to die immediately.
They were good. They were just solid.
Yeah.
It
was just it's. I think I said this last week where I'm why wasn't this either a movie or 2 more episodes?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if that's the story that Filoni had to tell for that season, I'm okay, I can respect that. But
for me though, it's better if there's a second season. If we know there's a second season,
yeah.
or if we know there's a Balin spinoff, or even the Thrawn thing. Thrawn's great, but it just ends and he's well, we're gonna Dathomir, and you're why? Why? I know why, but there's no conclusion. There's no real conclusion to a lot of the stories that came in later on. So that for me is I said this last week. If there was a promise of a second season, which they apparently they've talked about it. There's no concrete plans, but they've talked about it. If there was a promise of season 2, I would feel a lot better about that finale. I'd be well, it's leading into season 2. We got this journey. Now what's the next journey? And but who knows? It's all up in the air.
Do they have ratings on this show? How many people? I know there was at one point there was, but I just don't really know how do they deem something a success, on Disney Plus?
I think only Disney knows. I think there are ways to gauge it, but I don't think they're all accurate, and I think Disney kind of hides and I don't know if anyone actually knows what it is or not. I mean, the thing is, Mandalorian came out swinging and was such a big hit that we got season 2 like right away. But the thing is, they had to have greenlit season 2 before season 1 even aired. Like season 2 was written well before you and I saw Grogu, Baby Yoda, for the first time, because they started production in February. Like when the day it ended, I think they started around then. Ahsoka just feels like they left so much unanswered, so much that we need for it, that there needs to be either a second season of Ahsoka, or they need to kind of be like, we're developing a Balin show, we're developing a Thrawn show, like something like that had to, like, it's just, without it feels like, your favorite show got canceled after 2 seasons and it was halfway through the second season. You're like, but how am I supposed to find out what happened to the pizza place that Ryan Reynolds owned? You'll never know. You'll never know.
I don't know. I know it's what they do now, but it's just like, when it's like, we're gonna, instead of making more of what you like, we're gonna be like, here's a show that's devoted to just this one character, and you're like, okay. And I'm like, why? I mean, looking at the internet, like, it has pretty good reviews, like 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not bad, I think. I don't know what the comparison is to on like Mandalorian, but like 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10s on like, what is it? IMDb and then IGN. So it's like pretty solid, I think. But I don't know if that's for the entire season or just like one episode. I don't know.
I think most people enjoyed it. I think the finale let a lot of people down. Like Heidi said, it was a letdown. And I think that's because all those unanswered questions without knowing where it's going. But season 2 raises. Here's the thing. Let's just go off for a little bit. Before and talk a little bit about. Let's say there is a season 2, because you mentioned this last week, and I was like, well, I don't know. They're gonna go get Ahsoka, and you're like, but that's just what we saw. So what if Ahsoka and Sabine never return? What if they honestly? What if they never? What if the series goes like this, and we follow Ahsoka and Sabine and Balin and maybe Shin Hati this way, but then we have Hera, we have Ezra, we have those troops, Carson Teva, of course. I mean, maybe you throw Mando in there, and maybe they go this way, and then maybe the movie brings them together. But let's say they go in separate directions. Where Ahsoka and Sabine, they are, remember she says we're where we're supposed to be. So there's probably something more there. And if you looked, eagle-eyed viewers, Brock, that's what the journalists would call them, eagle-eyed viewers of the Ahsoka series, noted that Balin was being held by the father, and then the son was a mountain beside him, and the daughter had no head to the right. So there's all that. So there's a chance that maybe their story is going in that direction, and then the Ezra and Hera stuff, they don't go searching for them. They have to deal with Thrawn. So it splits up into, now whether or not that is in an Ahsoka show, or those are 2 separate shows, or they don't call the show Ahsoka, they call it Rebels live action. I don't know. But that, like, what do you think of that idea where there's just 2 separate stories? Like, it's Empire Strikes Back. That is Empire Strikes Back. 2 separate stories that don't come together.
That's true. I don't hate it. I think I'm more like disappointed with how they handled, or how they like create like characters in this, where it's like, why do we care about Ezra? Why do we care about Thrawn? It's like, I think the cast will do great if in that. I think the Ezra character with like he would be with Hera and Chopper. Like, there's stories that are interesting there. It's like, let's follow that. So I think it could work. It just be, I think, for me at least, it would be like, well, why? Why are we doing this? Like, why did we? Is this the whole? Like, it's just. I shouldn't be this critical because I enjoy High Republic but I don't know.
This is what I want to see. You brought up High Republic, because this is what I'm thinking maybe they should do. And Robert Iger, give me a call, Kathleen Kennedy, who just was fired. Right. We did. She got booted just 2 hours ago from Lucasfilm. rumor has it that Reba McEntire is taking over as
a single mom who has 2 jobs, who loves her kids.
How awesome is that? That show was on for like 200 seasons. Like,
yeah,
it's just fantastic. But
it's a Survivor.
So, here's what I was thinking though. Survivor is you have High Republic, and they came up with like that like timeline sheet. Remember, they're like High Republic, New Next Republic, that Republic, this Republic. They have all those republics. What if, Brock? What if going forward, when you watch a show, the next show you watch is the New Republic Mandalorian season 3, and then the next one is the New Republic whatever, and that way when you do Book of Boba Fett, it's just the New Republic, and this is a Book of Boba. So that way when Mando shows up, no one's crying, because again, like, naming the shows off of one character hurts you a little bit, but also because so far, and Andor is the only one, and Obi-Wan, everything else has kind of intersected and gone through each other, and they've kind of all connected to each other quite a bit. I mean, Ahsoka was literally a spin-off from Mando season 2, right? With Morgan. Yeah. Like, it was literally a spin-off. So, like, why not do that? And then you're not so, like, confined to what you're doing. And then everybody watching is a little less confused because oh, this is in this time period. The Acolyte is High Republic Acolyte, and then if they do whatever, I think, and I know I'm probably in the minority on this, and they're doing that Rey movie, but I think we got to move past the sequel trilogy, man. Like, we need stories that go beyond that and like expand off of that, like Clone Wars. And now what we're getting with Mando, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan, what we're getting for the prequels, we need those for the sequels. Because I think, people like to poo-poo on Rey now. I guess she's a terrible character now. Well, she is a Mary Sue, but like, I'm joking. But like, I know people don't like Rey, but I think there's a lot of good in Rey. And I think if you flesh Rey out more, and you give it, like, I think there's just a lot of good that happened in the sequels that when you play with those characters and situations, you can flesh them out. Because even that Lego Christmas special, I was like, I kind of want to watch Finn getting trained by Rey now. Like, there was more going on there that I didn't expect. Like, that wasn't something I expected to care about, and I did. And so I just think they need to do stuff there. But I think if you just start, like, if you label them like this time period, this time period, this time period, and then you release a show in that time period, even put it in your, and you know how they have the playlists on Disney? They have like the Halloween, like those playlists, put them in there, and then it's less confusing for the audience, and you have more free reign to do what you want in that time series.
Yeah. I don't hate the idea, but it's just like you when you were talking there, you mentioned Morgan, and liked that character, loved what they did with her in the season of Ahsoka, but like, remember last episode, I'm like, she's in Mandalorian season 2. I'm like, they fight, and I'm like, yeah, like, that's the thing. It's like, once you like piece it all together, that's good, but like, totally forgot that she was in. I just thought, she's in the Shadow Council that we see in season 3 of. That's it.
Well, you could also do a recap. You could do a recap and be like, hey, this is this show. Here's a recap on everything that you need to know going into it. And there'll be other shows. I don't know. It's just because Star Wars is so big and there's so much going on, they're bouncing between timelines. They're going to have to do something for the casual fans who just watch it. Because even remember when Rogue One came out, some people were like, well, where's Rey? Is this about Rey? Remember? Like, to try to figure that out. So I think it's they're in a pickle, but I think the more they do, the more confusing it could get for casual fans. Because, like, especially the Acolyte, because the Acolyte's not connected to anything. Where Andor, at least like, this is part of that Rogue One show. Now it's like Acolyte, people be like, well, what's going on here? Where's Mandalorian? Where's Ahsoka? Where's these new characters? It might not be that way, but I'm just saying hypothetically it could be.
Yeah, I don't hate it. And it's like I said, it's like, I like this show. It was fun. Just like, it feels like something's missing, which perhaps Rebels was like that too, where we're just like, why do, like how many episodes of Rebels is like, oh, let's go on this thing that has nothing to do with anything, and then it comes back in the end. You're like, oh wow, Filoni. It's like perhaps that's just his style, but like after a point, it's like you don't need to keep doing that. Though it is engaging. I'll if we get a second season of Ahsoka, I'll probably be like try to like retract everything I just said. It's just like I don't know. But you're right. I think it's like announce if you're gonna do another season. It seems odd. I don't know. I'm really happy with it, so I kind of watch it again.
I think
different experience.
The lightsaber stuff was my favorite stuff that we've gotten in a long time.
The visuals in general were just nice.
I still think like as on like a whole, I think Mando might. We'll do ranking on the American. We just had Canadian Thanksgiving. On American Thanksgiving, we'll do our ranking series. But it won't be first season like we talked about. We'll do first season of all these shows. Because for me though, I still feel like Mandalorian. Now, I'm before we do that, I probably will go back and watch as much as I can of the other ones. But Mando to me is still. There's something about Mando that I love. Now, when you mix Mando with Ezra, and if that ever happens, that will be creme de la creme to me. And Ram Rashi here is saying that they needed 2 more episodes of Ahsoka, and I don't think they're the only one. Or you're the only one. I've seen a lot of people, and I'm with you. Like it just felt like it kind of just stopped, which was kind of how the first episode felt too. Like Sabine got stabbed, and like it's over. You're like, what happened? Where's the rest of that episode? And it kind of par for the course for the series, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
it's fun though. It's a lot of fun. It's a great show. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what's our next thing then? Acolyte at the end of the year, right?
I believe it's Skeleton Crew at the beginning of the year.
Skeleton Crew this year?
No, I don't think we're getting any more live action this year. I think it's all next year. And I think Skeleton Crew.
Acolyte was this year.
No, I don't think it is. Let me say it. Star Wars.
You're probably right.
Acolyte, because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be. The rumor was that it was going to be Skeleton Crew because I think Urkel was on like Monday Night Football or something, and he said that it was. Was he on hockey?
Yeah.
Hockey. Oh yeah, it was a playoffs, and I think he said it was coming out at the end of the year, like November, December. Yeah. So here on the Wikipedias on Google, it's saying 2024 for Acolyte. So I think we're done for live action Star Wars in 2023, which I'm actually okay with. I'm actually okay with taking a little break from live action Star Wars because we got Mando, Mando season 3, and we got did we get something else at the beginning of the year? Was that it?
Vision season 2?
No, live action. I mean,
live action? No, I don't think so. When did Andor end? Last year?
Yeah, it was October, November.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was whatever. We're not getting any more live action until next year. And then next year we get Skeleton Crew and Acolyte for sure. They probably pushed it because all the strikes, they can't do anything, right?
Yeah, that is true, yeah.
So they're kind of like, oh, we were kind of hoping to have X after Acolyte, but we can't, so let's push Skeleton Crew, and then we have 2 at least next year. But have you heard about Marvel, though? They're like the Daredevil show. They fired the writers and the directors.
Oh, no.
They're like redoing the whole series apparently, because they're not, I don't know, I guess there's a new directive is to make good shows and not like just toss them out like they were. I haven't watched a lot of Marvel, so I have I'm not judging anyway. But apparently that's the new MO is like quality over quantity for the Marvel shows. So Daredevil, they tossed it all and they're redoing it. Well, maybe Star Wars. We haven't gotten that much Star Wars. That's the thing. Like we haven't. Like as much as people complain. Yeah. Think about what we've gotten. We've gotten like 6, and like we've gotten what Mando, Obi-Wan, Andor, Ahsoka,
Boba Fett.
So we've gotten 5. That's actually a lot. We've gotten 5 though. It's not a lot, but that's a good amount. I'm not complaining about what we got.
Yeah.
All right, Brock. Let's bring in an old friend of ours. Hold on, I hit the wrong button. Let's bring in an old friend of ours. Tell that to Conjure Club.
Tell it to Conjure Club.
You could tell that to Conjure Club. We'll deal with this before we get to Never Tell Me the Odds. Tell that to Conjure Club is brought to you in part by Guillermo del Toro,
Yes, sir.
who revealed recently. There's a lot going on because David Goyer, who wrote Batman Begins, and he also wrote the Blade movies, and he directed the third Blade movie, and he did another movie that just made $0 at the box office. The Vanishing, the Fine Finishing. I can't remember what it's called. I barely remember that it was a thing. But also he wrote Man of Steel. He came up with that with Christopher Nolan, and he was writing a Star Wars movie with Guillermo del Toro. And Guillermo del Toro he said that was accurate. He said that what he did was one of many, things that were being done that will never see the light of day. It is what it is. But it came out, Brock, that it was a Jabba the Hutt like origin story or something about Jabba the Hutt. And I feel a few things about this, but I'll let you go first.
I mean, of course, a Guillermo del Toro Star Wars movie would probably be all puppets.
Mm-hmm.
Animatronics, like, of course, it totally makes sense. Do we want something with Yoda, Jabba at the forefront? I'm not sure, because I feel like, though, like, you give us Hutts, like, we're always excited about it, but like a Hutt at the forefront, I'm not sure exactly. I would have seen it. I would have watched the hell out of that. But where do you go with that, and why? It's sort of, I mean, I think it would be interesting to see more Hutts, like, the cartels and what have you, and I think they don't use them enough. So cool, but I don't know.
No, I'm with you. We don't see enough, but also here's my thing. I love Jabba the Hutt. Give me more Jabba the Hutt. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And Guillermo del Toro doing it makes perfect sense. Like you said, puppets and all that crazy stuff they like to focus on. However, I think we need, as much as I like it, I think, like, for movies, they need to figure out what the movies are that they're doing. And I really think we got the Filoni thing in the middle now, and then the James Mangold thing at the beginning. We need more stuff that takes place after the sequels. I think, like, focus, like, make a Maz Kanata movie. Make a movie where I actually care about Maz Kanata, because I can't. Or like I don't know. There's just Jabba dies. Like, we know, like the thing is, like, we know, like, his end game is Leia's gonna strangle him to death. Like, we know where he ends up. So as much as that would be interesting and probably a hell of a movie, it's like, all right, I get it. And also nobody showed up for Solo. I think that probably didn't help it out so much too, where maybe people don't want to watch movies based on one character. It's Star Wars. We want to watch the whole thing. So I don't know. I'm not conflicted about it. I totally would have watched it, but I also am like, I get what I don't know if it was. I mean, that might be like a really cool Disney Plus show, The Rise of Jabba the Hutt, but ultimately he just dies. So we know what's up with that.
Yeah. It's like we've already done enough of these Star Wars things where we're like, oh, he's gonna become the bad guy. It's like, yeah, we know. It's not exciting, and even if it's like you don't know a character, it's like, how often do we need to see someone get into like a life of crime, and they're like, oh, they never get caught, or will they? They will. Like, it's
who knows what he's doing? Imagine if it was like The Godfather Part 2, but with Jabba the Hutt, and you're like, this is like, people are crying in the theater watching. I will say this: I am kind of on board with somebody that we love going to the dark side. It's not going to be Ezra anymore, because I think that ship has sailed for Ezra. Sabine's more likely, but it doesn't have to be any character. It could be a new character. But I feel like no one really teeters with the dark side enough anymore. Like, we're not getting it as much as I'd like. Like, I want to watch that conflict, because one thing, like, I love Anakin and that, but I don't feel like the prequels, and I'm a prequel lover, we all know this, but I don't feel like the prequels did a fantastic job of bridging Anakin to Vader, like turning him evil.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we spend more time with a character, and you take a character, like, create a character right now, and know that character is going to be the big bad in the future, right? But you make us love this character, and then you slowly turn them dark. I think that would just be so cool to watch, and it would be similar to what we got, but very different as well, because you're watching kind of the destruction of a hero in front of our eyes. And maybe we get that in the Acolyte, probably not, but that's something that I think it would be really a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's sort of like you give me stuff ahead of time, like or back in before the events of A New Hope or even the prequels. It's like, sure, I'll watch it, but it's just sort of like where you're gonna end up, right? Like that's one of the problems with the Skywalker saga. It puts you in a corner of like, well, whatever. Though, I mean, they do also do an excellent job of explaining like this galaxy is massive. There's no way you can like have only one person directly affect everything in the galaxy. So it's like it's doable, but it's like I'll watch it, but it's just like I think you're right. It's like it needs to be after the sequels. So you're like you kind of have carte blanche of what you can do at going forward, like it's I don't know. Because you don't want to have a story where it's like he's more evil than Darth Vader, and you're like, but like Darth Vader, like you don't need to outdo him per se. I don't know.
No, but I mean, think of here's an example for what I was saying about a character going to Balin. Like, how did Balin get from A to B? Right, but let's start with a character at A and watch them get to B. I don't know. It's just another way. I don't know. I don't think. Look, the other thing with Star Wars is, and Snoke. I think Snoke's biggest problem when we first heard about him before, like the movies and everything, but was like Snoke's here. It's like, where was he in the other movies if he's so powerful, right? Like, and that's the problem. It's like, and how do you make someone more powerful than the Emperor or Vader when they're supposed to be the most powerful? Because then are you undermining what happened before? Now, if you go far enough in the future, you can kind of forget all that because now it's a new threat, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But when you stay in this time period, it can't be a bigger threat than those two at all. And now with the Mando stuff, we call it the Mandoverse for the Filoniverse. The problem now is whatever they do between now and anything going forward still can't be bigger than Palpatine because GVP is coming back.
Yeah.
Like, it still can't be bigger than that. Whoever they have still has to not be as big a threat as what will ultimately GVP be with his murder weapon, murder planet ships.
Yeah, but like Thrawn being back in the regular galaxy, it's like okay, the Emperor coming back to life and having power figured out, putting him in there is like, oh, okay, this starts to make sense. But then it's like, do we really need to know? It's like, I don't know. It's so I don't know. I look forward to seeing if they do anything next. But in regards to Jabba the Hutt, I mean, like that's fun and all, but like, were you really expecting a movie on Jabba? I said the same. Well, like a movie about the Guardians of the Galaxy did well. So.
Yeah, but here will be my counter playing devil's advocate is Rogue One worked. Solo financially did not. Like, we'll call it spade. It didn't work. Star Wars needs to be an event film. It's almost like every Star Wars movie needs to be Avengers. Star Wars doesn't have the small stuff. It is the big stuff. It's Lord of the Rings. It's the event film. You need to we need to go see it. And when you start making movies about singular characters, especially now that we've got these shows about them, it diminishes what Star Wars is. And then people like there's almost like, why would I watch it? I'm going to watch it on TV. But when you give it the big event, like I need to see this on the big screen, there's something different about that. And that's what Star Wars theatrically needs to focus on, I think.
Mm-hmm. No, I think you're right. It's just a bummer because like we're just hypothesizing on so much where it's just like, what are we getting anything?
Skeleton Crew is a tale of Jude Law and Thrawn. I made that up.
Perfect.
Who knows? Heidi's saying that she thinks that the Emperor got the ships from Thrawn.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say too. It's like, oh, that kind of he's making stuff cool.
All right, let's go to the odds.
Let's go to the odds.
I keep hitting the wrong button on the graphics. Never tell me the odds.
Never tell me the odds. Brought to you and me by patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. If you like what we do and you want to support us, head on down to patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast and support us in any way you can. We greatly appreciate it, and we want to keep doing this thing where we talk about Star Wars, because nobody but us talks about Star Wars. And the people that think that we're great when we talk are the following: Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Jeff Wilson, Phil Staniforth, Rez, Scott D, Josh Price,
Matt W, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girls 02, Gleek, Play One, Dana Nerds, Disney, Desi, and Charlotte. I held that.
Nice.
I
Thank
held
you.
That. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate all of your support. We could not do this without you. And you guys. Gotcha, Dale. Thanks. Okay, and Dale. We'll say Dale Erdman. Never tell me the odds. Will we get Brock? Here we go. Now we hear you guys in the comments. Also, the live chat. Let me know what you guys think. Never tell me the odds. Will we get Ahsoka season 2? Are we getting season 2 of Ahsoka?
Full Brock on this one. I don't know. Like, it's just kind of crazy.
I gotta go 67% on it. Because I feel like the show was very strong, and even though there's a lot going on, and I think we just said they could branch off into different shows. I just like stay the course and make that all one show, and just keep bringing back Ahsoka, because we know what it is. Like, we know what we're getting with Ahsoka. We know all the characters in Ahsoka, and if you start branching off, then it might get a little confusing or whatever. So I'm all on board with season 2. So 67% for me.
What is Filoni's position at Lucasfilm now? Is like head of creative, or like he has a specific job?
Yes, he does. And people made a big deal, but apparently it's been the same for like years now. He's American director and film producer. Where is his job at Lucasfilm? Give me 1 second. At Lucas. It's something that I don't have. It's not the job I have. I'll tell you that.
Nice.
Executive producer. Okay, this is just give me the answer. Dave Filoni's job says Lucasfilm fans excited, but it's not new. It was just promoted to executive creative director is his title. Okay. Executive creative director. He's had that for a while. I think he had that when he did Rebels as well.
I mean, it's like if you're high up enough, I think you can like sort of say, let's just do second season of Ahsoka, and they're like, okay, boss. I just think to save, just do a second season. Our next odd, never tell me the odds that Baylan will be recast. They will recast Baylan Skull for whatever the future holds for Baylan. I'm telling you this, Brock. I don't want whatever he went out searching for to be told in a book or a comic. Yeah,
it's gotta be in live action on TV.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go 90%, assuming there's another season. But like, it's like he was an interesting character, and it's a bummer that Ray Stevenson has passed away. But like, it's like that story is cool. I want to know more. So. Yeah,
I'm gonna go 79%, and I think it's very sad that he passed away. Separate from everything, obviously. But the thing is, like you said, he was such a great character, and he brought so much to that character. But I still feel like the character, even for respect for Ray Stevenson, like continue to tell this story. Like you can't just stop the story short. You know what I mean? Like you got to keep going. Yeah. I'm sure he would have wanted you to keep going with that story. Just recast somebody, and it's going to take. I mean, it's going to take a little while to get used to that person. The one plus side to recasting Baylan Skull is he was in 7 and a bit episodes or 6 and a bit episodes. He wasn't even in one of them. So I think the bonus is it's not like he's Ewan McGregor and like not. I mean, Ewan McGregor replays Alec, but like it's not an actor who's been with the role for decades, like Mark Hamill or Carrie Fisher is what I should have said. Like it's not something, and this isn't a Carrie Fisher scenario either. So I think you recast for the future of it, and you get somebody, and you just play this character until this character has no more story to go. And Heidi is saying that he will wear a mask that will cover the top half of his face. He'll just be a talking beard for season 2 and beyond. So those are ours. And our final odd today, never telling the odds, Snoke will kill Grand Admiral Thrawn. Will Snoke kill Grand Admiral Thrawn?
I don't know.
I think you're going to go a hundo.
I'm going to go like 20%. I don't know. I think, yeah.
I don't think you're off. I think, I don't know. I think it would really be beneficial for my mentality if Snoke appeared in some capacity, because he's been like, they've always teased him. It would be cool to see him like take out somebody, if not Thrawn. Dale is saying Balin will be recast. I'm sure. I think he'll be deformed and scarred from the corruption of the font of knowledge and bathing in the pool of power as Abeloth did. Everybody's obsessed with Abeloth now. Dale knows. I will give Dale credit because he knows those things. His resolve will be it will never be stronger. That's what he says. I am going on the Snoke kill Thrawn. Did I give a percentage on that? No, I didn't. I'm gonna go full Brock. I think it's a cool way to get rid of Thrawn, and it's a cool way to bring in Snoke. I don't think they'll do it though. I don't think they will, and I wouldn't be upset if they didn't either. I'm not like married to this fake odd that we created, but I want to see Snoke developed.
Yeah,
in some capacity. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, you want to go to the news?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. This is a song I sing after I change the graphic. Hollow news, da 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 da. Hollow news, da 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 da. Ah, da 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 da. There we go. Hollow news. My mic is.
Hollow news, the news you need to know right now. Marvel Comics has announced that a new era of Star Wars, The High Republic, is upon us. As part of Lucasfilm's Phase 3 of publishing stories set during this period, it all kicks off next month with a new wave of Star Wars novels and comics set during the Golden Age of the Jedi. Today we've learned that on November 8th, not today, writer Kevin Scott and artist Ario Anindiccio will return for Marvel's flagship High Republic ongoing comic series in Star Wars, The High Republic #1, because we all know Marvel loves starting at a #1. The new series picks up after the shocking events of Phase 1 as Keeve Trennis, now a Jedi Master, fights to unite the Jedi and restore hope to the galaxy far, far away, complete with new heroes, mysteries, and threats. The High Republic stories take place centuries prior to the event of Star Wars The Phantom Menace, taking fans into a previously unseen period where the Jedi were at the height of their glory. A year after the destruction of Starlight Beacon, Martian Row and the Nihil stand victorious, reads an official story synopsis from the comic. The galaxy is in turmoil. The once mighty Jedi are outclassed. The Republic is on its knees. On the edge of the galactic frontier, Jedi Master Keeve Trennis leads a desperate assault against an invading force. Vague as ever, but you know it. We're in. This is just comics, so we haven't heard any announcement on books, to my knowledge. But hey, Phase 3, here we come. It doesn't look like we're getting another Halloween-themed Lego Star Wars special this year, but we got 3 Halloween-themed shorts to watch instead. So head over to Star Wars Kids YouTube channel and check out. They have the three shorts there, though they also will be embedded into the announcement on StarWars.com and are available on StarWarsKids.com. So if you love the Lego, if you love Halloween, if you love Star Wars, head on over to there. And in final real news, Disney Imagineering, the entertainment giant's research and development department, has a knack for creating technologically advanced robots like the hyper-realistic Navi Shaman at Disney World, but its latest development might be its most adorable creation to date. At the International Conference on Intelligent Robots and Systems in Detroit last week, Disney unveiled a new nameless bipedal robot that can walk, more like waddle, unassisted, and remain balanced even when shoved, navigating difficult terrain, or having a literal rug pulled out from beneath it. The robot is mostly 3D printed and was developed by a team from Disney Research in Zurich in less than a year, led by research scientist Moritz Bascher. Most roboticists are focused on getting their bipedal robots to reliably walk, said Disney research scientist Morgan Pope in a statement to IEE Spectrum. At Disney, that might not be enough. Our robots may have to strut, prance, sneak, trot, or meander to convey the emotion that we need to them. And that's cool. Nothing more that I would want with my own droid. So bring it on. That AI is getting pretty impressive. So this has been your Hollow News.
AI, man.
Yep.
Very, very impressive stuff on the AI front.
Yeah.
Very impressive. I don't use it enough, but I have used it, and it is wild what it does. Wild AI.
Wild stuff.
Apparently, Terminator makes no difference to us. We're just like, hey, you know what? Let's do it. All right, top 5 Jedi, according to Forbes magazine. Top 5 Jedi. I have an honorable mention. Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto will always be an honorable mention. Kit Fisto. My number 5, Ahsoka.
Oh,
Ahsoka Tano coming in at number 5. I want to know what's going on with Ahsoka. Like here's the one problem with Ahsoka, Brock, is she calls out to Rey in The Rise of Skywalker. So I don't know what they're gonna do there, because I feel like Filoni never wants her to perish. But my number 5 is Ahsoka.
My number 5 is gonna be Balin, because he's new and we still have a lot to learn about him. Because he's not. Is he evil? Is he a Jedi? Is he a Sith? I don't know what's going on. Like, so it's an asterisk for sure.
My other honorable mention is Balin. My number 4 is Sabine Wren. Sabine is classified as a Jedi on StarWars.com, I believe. So I'm going with Sabine here. Sabine was one of my favorite characters in Rebels, and I think a Mandalorian Jedi is exciting. Sabine could creepy crawl up my list a little further, but right now Sabine is number 4.
My number 4 is going to be Cal Kestis from the Jedi Survivor,
choice, yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Those games.
Yeah, those games. Cool stories, and like I haven't even played the second one, but like it's just like he's an interesting character that you could easily, because like the voice actor that is modeled, the character is modeled after, he looks like that, so he's a pretty good actor. So
there were rumors that he was going to show up in Mandalorian. I think there were just people saying things, but you could do it. Like it would be weird, but you could do it. Like it is weird that there's a lot of Jedis alive and none of them show up when they're needed. But whatever, it is what it is. My number 3, little known Jedi named Ezra Bridger, not to be confused with Ezra Miller. Ezra Bridger is my number 3. I liked what he did in Ahsoka. I really did.
My number 3 is going to be Obi-Wan, because he's just sort of the guy that's always there, you know. So, and he's like, even though like they like to do stories where his like faith falters, it's like I feel like he is the quintessential Jedi, because in the original trilogy, that's who we kind of model the idea of like what a Jedi is supposed to be while Luke's learning that. So.
And I think the combo of Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor are just fantastic. Obi-Wan Kenobi is probably my favorite, but not on my list because I wanted to just cop out and do cool characters. My number 2 is Luke Skywalker, because I also copped out and put Luke Skywalker on my list. You know what? I was debating not putting Luke on here, and everybody would have cried. But I was like, what if I didn't? And then I remembered Mandalorian season 2 finale, and I was like, he's on there. He's on it.
Can I put Ben Solo on this or no?
Yeah, why not?
All right, I'm going to go Ben Solo for my number 2. I'm like, I think that character is very interesting. If I can't, then I'll make it Rey. Like, those two, like, the good Jedi character in sequel movies is, like, it's interesting. I like it. So, yeah. I don't know who Yarno Poof is. Let's look at that.
Heidi's like, Yarno Poof is is Bob Barker's microphone from Price is Right, the old Price is Right microphone. And my number one, a little known Jedi named Anakin Bananakin Skywalker. Number one, Bananakin. I don't think there's a surprise there from anybody, but whatever.
I'm just trying to see, what is Yarno Proof? Oh, that guy. Gotcha. I'm gonna go and say Ahsoka is my favorite
Mace
Jedi
Windu.
right now. Oh, Mace Windu, yeah.
That's a good call.
Thanks to Filoni, we have so much story behind her, right? So, which I feel like other Jedis they really don't do that much with, because you can't change what happened in the movies. So, yeah, I think Ahsoka is really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great choice. We're just having fun. Let us know what your top 5 Jedi are in the comments below. You don't have to take it too seriously either. It is just for fun. Although Kit Fisto would have been my 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the way. I think my Kit Fisto Funko Pop is near me, but it's not. All right, Brock, 297 of these. We got 300, episode 300 coming up in 3 weeks, unless of course we go on hiatus. Anything else you want to say? Thanks to everybody watching, by the way. Anything else you want to say?
No. Heidi says no Grogu. Is he?
He's not a Jedi yet.
That's a good mention though. So thank you, Heidi, for throwing that out. No, I got nothing to say.
Grogu is not a Jedi. He left training to become a Jedi to be a Mandalorian. So he's a Mandalorian that wields the Force. Loophole.
I mean, really, Ahsoka says over and over, "I'm no Jedi." So maybe there's another.
Yeah, but then she trains. But then she trains Sabine to be a Jedi, and then her voice shows up in Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, all right, true. No, Heidi, Sabine is a Jedi according to StarWars.com. I'm going off of official Star Wars. Sabine Wren Jedi. Here we go. Wikipedia was a 4. Okay, well, okay. And then Sabine Wren finally taps into her first. Anyway, I'm going with Sabine as a Jedi, Brock. And I will call Kathleen Kennedy, who is now working, I believe she's working as a carny because she was fired once again.
Boom.
From Lucasfilm. Anyway, all right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate the support for you guys being here, all that fun stuff. But Brock, I gotta tell you, for the 200, well, we started saying this around episode 80, but you were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.